Are you paying attention yet, folks? Are you paying attention? I just went to Walmart and there are some things that were critically absent, including canned chicken. That's right. The canned chicken was completely wiped out. Only a few name brand varieties and just a tiny little bit of that. We're going to get into that and some more. Issues with eggs, oatmeal, lots of issues out there. The food shortages are getting worse. Let's jump into the pictures here in Pittsburgh. As you can see, we're here at Aldi now, and we have your typical shortages where just certain products are just gone. That is been going on for a while. This is coconut milk and some other Hispanic foods just missing. Salt is in short supply still, as well as things like pepper. Just your usual garden variety shortages that we've been dealing with over the last year or so. Instant mashed potatoes, they're generic. The little flavor packets, just gone. There's Idahoan, or you can get the big boxed, non-premixed stuff. Ramen noodles have been relegated to a very, very small shelf space. I believe that's because they just don't have very many of them. Usually that takes up like a full couple sections of ramen noodles, and here we are with them not even be able to fully stock that little tiny patch that they have ramen noodles in now. And then bacon continues to be missing. There's really expensive bacon, but there's not the budget bacon at Aldi. That has been going on for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's been going on for months now. I've been pointing it out every time. Cream cheeses, like in tubs at Aldi, is in shortage again. But we're going to see over at Walmart that they're not in shortage. So what I see is people are going to Walmart or to Aldi to get the cheapest cream cheese. And the shortages move from one place to the next depending on where it's the cheapest. That seems to be what I'm seeing. So I'm not seeing a critical cream cheese shortage. I just see price disparities between the two stores. Certain kinds of oatmeal, like the individual packets of oatmeal, they still don't have that. That's been weeks. It's been weeks without that. But they do have the big tubes of oatmeal. We're going to see the inverse over at Walmart, of course. These stores are right next to each other, so it is understandable that they play off each other, which is why I think it's important to go to both of them. Also, some of the meats, some of the pork, you can see that, just a whole section empty. They have their limit one chicken packets still. I don't know how long there's going to be rationing going on at Aldi, because there's no shortage. Why would there not need to be rationing when there's no shortages, right? Look at what they do, not what they say, right? The creams and the coffee mate kind of stuff seem to be better than before, so that's good. But there's still some pretty significant shortages, certain varieties just missing. Cookie doughs and Pillsbury type stuffs are mostly restocked. There's some gaps in there, but it's a lot better than what we've seen in the past. So we're good to see that. See that middle shelf there? It's not quite as obvious from this picture, from this angle, but that's one whole shelf that's just empty. That one whole shelf of eggs is usually stocked to the brim, but not this week. Not this week. Chocolate milk continues to be having issues for some reason. Not sure what's going on with that. I don't know why the factories can't keep up with that. Perhaps it is the additives that they put in there to make it thicker and creamier. Name brand whole milk, for some reason, is also having issues. It's a lot of gaps there. Certain brands of bottled water are having issues. I don't know if that's just a trucking issue. I know that they're having issues with Poland spring water. This is too far up north and too far away and too soon after the hurricane to really be impacted by the buying spree down south. Oatmeal. Look at that. This is the second week in a row where oatmeal has been very short at Walmart. All the generic oatmeal just basically gone. Those few in the back there are like busted. So there might be one good one in those three, but I saw at least one or two of them were busted, which is where the loose oatmeal was coming from. The Lucky Charms. All the big boxes of Lucky Charms. That's what that giant gap is. I'm not sure if it's a certain variety or what's going on with that, but Lucky Charms kind of pancake mixes low, but still present. Not critical. Chicken continues to go up in price, but it is present. Fresh chicken. When it comes to the beef, it seemed to be a little bit lower in stock, but prices are still fairly reasonable compared to recently. But here's the big doozy. That whole bottom shelf of canned chicken, generic canned chicken, gone. That second shelf almost wiped out as well. If you want to get your plant-based meat over there, there's some of that on the shelf, but there's Spam, and even that seems to be relatively low. And canned chicken. All the generic canned chicken just practically wiped out there, folks. There's another angle of it. Hard to believe. I've been saying it, we're moving that direction. Even with the prices the way they are with the canned chicken, just bad. You can buy your name brand canned chicken for a lot more, or you can go without. That's your options there. All right, canned tuna. If you're like, well, let's just go to the canned tuna. Generic canned tuna wiped out, and even the name brand stuff is being hit relatively hard. Further down that same aisle, I don't know if it just like that kind of got people kind of panicking or something like that. Individual packets of mashed potatoes. I mean, even the name brand is mostly wiped out, but definitely generic is just nowhere to be seen. Very few options on instant mashed potatoes. What is up with that? Is it the thickening agent, similar to what's going on with the chocolate milk? Possibly. Certain ingredients seem to be hindering production. Some of the other meat selections on the aisle, so like canned ravioli, stock is down a bit, but it is still present, so you do still have options there. But the generics are very, very few and far between. Canned beans, they're also getting kind of wiped out. So if you want to go for the natural proteins, you are getting hit there. You're getting hit there as well. Soups and stocks. Stocks are down, not just on the stock market, but also on the Walmart shelf, right? Soups, there's a lot of holes there. I'm sorry, but when you're charging $2.26 for a can of soup, I remember when those were $1, just like, I don't know, 2 years ago. Those were $1, and now they're $2.26. But food inflation is only 8 or 9% or something like that, according to the government. Pasta seemed to be a little bit better off than what it has been in the past, but there's a fair number of gaps there, so keep an eye on that. However, ramen noodles definitely stocked to the gills. Aldi doesn't have any ramen noodles, but Walmart has all the ramen noodles. I don't know if they just called the supplier and said, you're going to give us all your ramen noodles and you're going to cut Aldi out, or we're going to send somebody with a baseball bat. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. But they can't get the North sides. That's basically wiped out. So we're just seeing a lot of different things just kind of wiped out. So I went to the beef stew because, of course, I see that as kind of an alternative to the canned meat because it's got a fair bit of meat in it. And, of course, saw that was drawn down pretty significantly as well. The rice and beans actually looked really good dried because people are lazy and they don't want to actually, cook. But the 20 pounders of rice are gone. So You can get some off brands or some name brands or whatever they are, but you can't get, couldn't have gotten 20 pounders of rice, generic, at Aldi and at Walmart yesterday. So vinegar continues to be an issue. Continues to be an issue there, folks. Sugar actually seemed to be relatively back on stock, but these are not your typical offerings. They put big bags of sugar there that are generic in the Domino section. And then you see that they put powdered sugar in place of the Domino on that third shelf there. That is not their typical place. And then you look at that one pallet's basically empty there, whereas the other pallet is full. So there is sugar, but you're losing some options, and there definitely seems to be some strain on the system. Flour looked actually pretty okay. Flour looked okay. Oil section looked relatively good, but once again, they are playing games with this. They're moving products all around in order to kind of cover up the holes. So be aware of that. Crisco doesn't usually have space there. Wesson doesn't usually have space there. That whole shelf, those two double wide shelves, used to be great value alone, and now they're down to about one shelf. So salt did seem to be relatively in stock. Cinnamon was there. One person mentioned cinnamon. I'm actually seeing that. They rearranged the whole tea section to put all these little small boxes up, and the generic big boxes of tea bags are gone because they weren't able to keep them on the shelf. So now it's just the expensive little tiny tea bags that are on the shelf. And coffee, folks. Yikesers. Look at that. Where'd all the Folgers go? Did all the Folgers just like go over to Aldi? No, they don't sell Folgers over there. All the Folgers gone. All the Folgers gone. And we're seeing that also impact in the K-Cups. A bunch of the K-Cups are down. They started consolidating the K-Cup sections and expanding some of the other stuff. They're playing games there, trying to cover up the holes. There's a lot of holes in the coffee, as well as the sugar, as well as, I mean, are you paying attention yet, folks? Rice, canned chicken, all the staples that we've been saying stock up on. These are the prepper staples. They're disappearing, folks. The silver supply out there is draining out of the banks, and the food is draining out of the warehouses. Peanut butter has some issues there, but fairly well stocked. But what you're not seeing there is generic peanut butter. They've filled in all the generic peanut butter sections with name brand peanut butter and little small jars moving over where the big jars used to be. And they're just fiddling with this, just trying to cover up the spaces. But you got that whole top shelf that's just empty. They're moving stuff down. Frozen potatoes. We got whole sections empty of frozen potatoes. That's what we're seeing here, folks. Please do let us know what you're seeing in your area. Use the word update somewhere in your comment. That way I can search for it. And also some sort of geographical location. Let us know what is out on your store shelves. And we will be able to get those out in our subscriber update report. All right, folks. If you like this video, you might want to check out this other video that's popping up on the screen here now. Otherwise, I will see you elsewhere. Steve Poplar out.